My advocate stated that eliminating the SAT would be changing something that isn't broken and that students have been taking it for the last 10 years. However, in an article, The Good and the Bad of the SAT Test by Grace Fleming, published in 2008, stated that since the SAT's development in the year 1926 shows that it hasn't been the last 10 years, maybe a little bit more, you do the math, it has faced criticism. Even the test's founding father, Carl Brigham, once voiced his misgivings about the fairness of standardized testing, stating that the system ignored factors such as schooling, family background, and familiarity with English. As well, my advocate says that the SAT tests what you've learned in high school so that you can do good in college. However, Charles Murray, the writer for the American Abolish the SAT article, wrote in the 2007 July-August issue, originally the point of the SAT, whose initials, after all, stood for Scholastic Aptitude Test, was to measure aptitude, defined by the dictionary as inherent ability, rather than to measure academic achievement. However, in the aftermath of the 1960s, the concept aptitude became troublesome. The temper of the times meant that long-observed ethnic and class differences in mental test scores had to be interpreted as the fault of the test that produced them. The SAT showed differences, therefore the SAT had to be a bad test, culturally biased in favor of upper-middle-class white students. In addition, eliminating the SAT would have numerous benefits rather than no benefits at all. For example, Christopher Shea, in the article Redundancy Testing in the Boston Globe, states as of July 29, 2007, that the numerous benefits of eliminating the SAT would be scuttling what he says as a deceptive test prep industry, undercutting the underproductive smugness that comes from thinking one's high SAT score reflects personal glory, and short-circuiting the contention that the SAT amounts to a conspiracy against low-income students. My opponent also mentioned that SATs are useful in predicting who graduates with a bachelor's degree in the article, but however, a study in the article that the SAT Aptitude or Demographics by Glenn Ellent, done from 1992 to 2006, shows that using SAT scores to predict who will graduate resulted in 3.2% of perfect prediction for men and 2.9% of perfect prediction for women. This means that for over 95% of the cases, random selection would predict the odds of remaining in school just as well as the SAT. Lastly, my advocate stated that the SATs are not biased. However, take into consideration a poll done by the College Board in the year 2006. Kenneth Chen wrote that it is widely known that Hispanics and African Americans score worse than whites and Asian Americans, but how much worse? According to a poll, Asian Americans on average score 137 points higher than African Americans do, and 92 points higher than Hispanics. Whites score a 526 out of 800 on math, 34 points lower than Asians, but significantly higher than blacks and Hispanics. In verbal, whites lead with a 526 out of 800, and Asians score 496 as compared to the Hispanics 466 and the blacks 434. Thanks.